Welcome to the story of the murder of James Bulger, is one of the most heartbreaking and shocking cases in modern British history. On February 12, 1993, 2-year-old James was with his mother at a shopping centre in Bootle, Liverpool. While his mother was distracted for a moment, James wandered off. Unbeknownst to her, two 10-year-old boys, Robert Thompson and Jon Venables, were watching. The boys had skipped school that day and were aimlessly walking around the mall. Their intentions quickly turned sinister as they spotted James. Thompson and Venables lured James out of the shopping center by taking him by the hand. CCTV footage later revealed the haunting image of James walking trustingly with the two boys. It would be the last time anyone saw him alive. Over the course of the next few hours, the two boys led James on a long, aimless walk across Liverpool. They passed many people, some of whom were concerned about the young child with two older boys, but no one intervened in a significant way. Some thought they were brothers or that James was simply lost. As the boys walked, their intentions became clearer. They took James to a secluded area near a railway line. It was here that they began their brutal assault. The details of what happened next are chilling and difficult to comprehend, especially given the young age of the attackers. They tortured James, hitting him with bricks and an iron bar. His injuries were severe and tragic. After the horrific attack, Thompson and Venables placed James's lifeless body on the railway tracks, hoping to make his death look like an accident. James's body was discovered 2 days later. The nation was horrified. The brutality of the crime, combined with the fact that the killers were just children themselves, shocked the public to its core. The police quickly launched an intensive investigation to find the perpetrators. One of the key pieces of evidence came from the CCTV footage at the shopping center, showing James being led away by two young boys. This image was circulated widely, and it wasn't long before someone recognized the boys. Within days, Robert Thompson and Jon Venables were arrested. The investigation into the murder revealed the disturbing details of what had happened that day. Despite their young age, Thompson and Venables had plotted to harm a child. They initially tried to abduct another child earlier that day, but were unsuccessful. When they saw James, they saw another opportunity and acted on their dark impulses. During their police interviews, both boys initially denied involvement, but eventually, they began to incriminate each other. Their confessions, though fragmented, painted a chilling picture of the events that unfolded. The trial of Robert Thompson and Jon Venables took place later that year. Given their age, there was much debate about whether they should be tried as adults or as children. Ultimately, it was decided that they would stand trial in an adult court. The public was outraged, and emotions ran high throughout the proceedings. People could not comprehend how two children could commit such an unspeakable act of violence. During the trial, the boys were described as having shown no remorse for their actions, which further fueled public anger. Both Thompson and Venables were found guilty of James Bulger's murder and were sentenced to detention indefinitely. At the time, they were the youngest convicted murderers in modern British history. The case raised numerous questions about the nature of evil, the treatment of juvenile offenders, and the responsibilities of society in preventing such tragedies. The story did not end there. In 2001, after serving 8 years in custody, both Thompson and Venables were released on parole with new identities to protect them from public backlash. This decision was controversial, as many believed that they had not served enough time for their crime. The British government granted them anonymity for life, and their new identities were closely guarded. However, the story took another dark turn when Jon Venables was later rearrested on multiple occasions for different crimes, including possession of child pornography. Each time, there were calls for his identity to be revealed, but that the courts upheld the decision to keep it secret. The James Bulger case has left a lasting scar on the UK. It remains one of the most widely discussed and debated crimes in British legal history, not just because of its brutality, but because of the age of the killers. Many people continue to struggle with the idea that children could commit such a horrific act and wonder what could have been done to prevent it. For the Bulger family, the pain of losing James has never faded. His mother, Denise, has spoken publicly over the years about her ongoing grief and her fight for justice for her son. She continues to work to raise awareness about child safety, determined to ensure that no other family goes through what hers did. The murder of James Bulger is a heartbreaking reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of vigilance, when it comes to protecting children. It also sparked important discussions about the criminal justice system, rehabilitation, and the balance between justice and mercy when dealing with juvenile offenders. Even after decades, the case remains a chilling chapter in the history of crime in the UK.